everybody, and there's 100 people in the room, and 99 people say they liked it. I only remember the one person who didn't like it.
Alright, finally I know we are here. The moment that a lot of you guys been waiting for. The moment that some of you guys say, you know what, Empress, you can skip. Let's go. Let's get on to it. I don't know what's next. I think it's Dick Tracy or Sooner or Later You're Gonna Be Mine. I don't know. But we can't, you know, just leave the Like a Prayer album open here. We gotta tie things up. So let's talk about this album. If I had to describe Like a Prayer in 3 words: creative, risky, and rewarding. Creative, in my opinion, wasn't Madonna's like first time like revealing herself as a songwriter, because I think she did that on a couple of the tracks that she co-wrote on the, you know, her first couple of albums, especially that first album, right? You got a lot of like young girl angst there, you know, like just boy problems, that's all. And of course, going through a divorce, that's totally different than having like dating boy problems, right? So, and also creative and sound. I think we hear a lot of sounds here from Madonna that we haven't heard before. Very risky in that sense. Different sounds always mean like different risk. And of course, risky is something that Madonna, I think, has been since that first album, when again she vocally said,
a lot of people thought that I was a black artist before they saw my videos. R&B music getting played on pop stations.
And then you get the Like a Virgin. That whole album title within itself was so controversial, right? A virgin.
What's new about it?
Me.
Good answer. Then you get into the True Blue era. You know, you get to the controversial of Papa Don't Preach, right? Now this big pop star is now talking about teen pregnancy. Like what? And now you get into this Like a Prayer, where you start talking about not only religion, but religion and sex, and how those two coincide. And you start talking about AIDS and racism, you know, all these different kind of topics and images that controversial still to this day make people uncomfortable to talk about, make people shaking their boots. But, you know, that's what our girl do. She is here to move the needle forward, right? Get people talking. And rewarding in that way, right? Because she got people talking and it paid off. I mean, she did a commercial.
Pepsi made a deal with Madonna. I believe it was a $10 million deal. Gave her 5 for the commercial and 5 to sponsor her tour.
As we watched the interviews and we've watched her kind of change, right? And I think this is like the woman finally, if I'm not mistaken, maybe she was around 30, 29 at this time, but here on this album she's clearly coming to her womanhood, right? And she's also, I feel like, enjoying this new independence that she has. No longer being Mrs. Penn, you know, those constraints and that drama. I heard a couple to me, like, you got to an argument in the car, like, man, why'd you put on that clone? I told you it messed up my allergy. I think, me personally, I saw that drama ring on her during that True Blue era. I don't know, I feel like Madonna's energy, and this is just me, you know, going through the journey, but her energy seemed off in this video. It seemed like, I don't know, she didn't seem like the most happiest or upbeat in this video. Maybe I'm reading into something that's not there, or maybe the bio might reveal like something happened before this video shoot. I don't know, but her energy just seems off to me. Physically, you can see it here. She looks healthier, in my opinion. She also looks, like I said, a lot more happier. And also, here we also get to see like this sadness, at least on record, that we hadn't heard from her at all. On most of, her past albums, we never heard this kind of sadness. In the sense that we have like Pray for Spanish Eyes and Old Father and Promise to Try, you know what I mean? Very self-reflective, and again, just maturing, not only in look but in sound. So, with that being said, let's and one last thing I have to go, the last thing I have to talk about before we move on is also the album cover, right? At this point, we know she's made it to the point where her face is no longer needed. This is how I interpret it. Her face is no longer needed to sell the album cover anymore. Just her name alone can sell it, right? Because prior to this, right, we've had some amazing, great face covers, right? Like, oh wow, this was the first cover that, again, no face at all. And we see like this kind of crown, you know, she's already like crowning herself like, boom, I'm the queen of the 80s. And I was very proud in watching this whole era because, again, it's so kind of thrilling to see, like, or to remember, like, the pop ingenue who was starting out, you know, wearing like those mesh shirts and bangles and thrifting and all of that, right? And now to the point where she's like probably the richest female singer at that point in time, right? The most successful. Like, she's dominated the whole game in 5 years. She's changed the sound and the look of what videos should look like and all of that. And it's just very exciting to see, like, wow, this was the girl who said she was going to rule the world.
To rule the world.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Madonna.
And by the end of the 80s, she did.
Thank you.
So with all that being said, we're going to get to these videos. So let's break these videos down to one. Let's go. I guess Madonna said I can't show up for this video, so y'all gonna have to cartoon me in. So I don't think this is any shock to anybody, right? Shout out to the Bob Ross guy that we saw, you know, during the drawings, but we had to fast forward on him.
Animated cartoon character. The cheek will go down like that, and then the chin will come down there.
This wasn't even shown in America from what I understand. So, of course, Dear Jessie is going to show up number 5. Now, this is where it really gets hard. All of the videos at this point really look really good stylistically. But, you know, for the sake of this countdown, the 4th video would have to be... I'm going to make a direct correlation to this entire era back to its Open Your Heart, right? So I remember I saw Open Your Heart. It was a game changer as far as videos, and a lot of you guys said you consider that like Madonna's first real video just because of stylistically how it was cut and just like the deeper meaning in the video. But you know, I would argue Burning Up was like really the first concept video. But anyway, I get what you guys mean, you know, in regards to, again, just like the filming of it. So I would argue that Open Your Heart is really that first time Madonna is exuding kind of like this strength, right? Because I noticed that a lot in this video, and then Express Yourself, like she does a lot of like what you would call maybe masculine poses, right? And like, you know, flexing the arm, like, strong, you know. But I feel like that was actually happening in the Open Your Heart video, which is cool, right? And again, I'm gonna say I'm glad Madonna got rid of Sean Penn, right? I feel a new freedom in the videos, right? I just feel a new freedom, a new lightness. All right, let's go. Let's finish this out. Very simple video. I think maybe the most simple we ever seen Madonna on screen, right? Wet hair, black clingy dress. Just strolling the beach, you know, giving the camera all her best that she's got. Simple, but I think appropriate for the song, right? Just appropriate and not overtly sexy either, but just naturally sexy. And again, I think that really speaks to the song. Shout out to Herb Ritz. I heard this was his first job Madonna gave him. So as a video director, I know he was a photographer. Shout out, did that physical album cover, My Girl and Jay, and many other works. But again, just great cinematography. My palms are sweating, right? I am so anxious to see this Like a Prayer video. Y'all done hyped it up. So, let's get to it.
There was controversy even before it was shot. The people that she originally went to be her gospel choir found out how they intended to shoot the video and didn't want any part of it. So she ended up having to hold auditions in order to get the gospel singers in there to back her up.
Wow. Alright, so this was a very, very hard one, and it might be shocking to some people, but Like a Prayer is going to be number 3. So, Like a Prayer, this video, of course, is like I feel like very appropriate for the song. That guitar riff that Prince had going was very strong and dramatic, and the video needed to match that energy, right? And not only that, the lyrics Madonna was singing, Madonna wrote, the video needed to match that. And here again, we watched that whole documentary about videos that shocked the world, so I'm not going to repeat myself here because we know just how controversial and shocking it was. But in the day, it was a message that Madonna was trying to send out. People kind of ran with it, and again, I feel like Pepsi, Boo Boo the Fool, they played themselves. They knew what they was doing. And yeah, I again just felt like this is one of those videos that once you see it, it's forever ingrained in your memory. Like, you're never going to forget the video. And just that imagery, right? Still to this day in 2021, very powerful. Alright. But I stand by. I don't think Madonna was trying to do it as a shock factor. But I think once it was, even the director, I think his name was Mary, right? Because she was like, she didn't know about the crosses. I think once it was on tape, and you're like, oh dang, this is how it looks, you know what I mean? And this is how it's probably going to be perceived. I don't think she was necessarily ready for that backlash, but of course, rewarding, risky, creative, she overcame it. This video is really good, very emotional, and again, I think perhaps maybe because y'all told me this song, I think, reached like 20, top 20, right? Or like 20 exactly. And maybe I feel like 1989 wasn't ready for this introspective Madonna. What y'all think? Like, shot just like a classical movie. The script, the plot made sense. A lot of great imagery, very moving. I feel like I was even like brought to tears. Again, I think it was something that was ahead of its time. I don't think people in 1989 really want to see that. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it's just my feeling. Y'all, real talk, like, this video looks so modern, right? Like, if I would know who Madonna was, or like any like detail about the music, like, these images could be today. It's too fire. Like, what's not to like about it? Madonna studied all the Hollywood great actresses for this role. Here again, the street girl is now the glam woman, right? She's just totally working the camera. Amazing shots, amazing imagery. Amazing script as well, and she just looked good, right? Now let's get to what y'all came here for. Let's talk about it. The album, let's rank the tracks from 11 to 1. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I don't think y'all ready, but y'all know what? I got some brothers and I got some sisters too. We gonna keep it together. All right. No button heads down in the comments, okay?
11.
Spanish eyes, when will they ever learn?
This song, I'm not torn because I know it's not tense across the board, right? The delivery is a little bit too raw for me, but I mean, again, the production, especially that Spanish guitar, right? It was so smooth. And not only that, like, just the story itself is, again, I'm using the word again, very cinematic, right? I felt like I was kind of like listening or experiencing like an ear movie, so to speak, right?
But I promise to try.
There you go. So again, I'm here always for an emotional ballad, right? This is pretty good. Now, y'all gonna be mad with me because Promise to Try, okay, it's a good song, yes, but we talk about the definition of fireball, right? It's just like, whoa, stop you dead in your tracks, you know? I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't even remember how Promise to Try sounds like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a memorable song. That's why I ranked it low on the list, right? Again, not a song I necessarily want to revisit or have revisited since hearing the initial listen. Nah, this should be no surprise. Alright, so boom. Those of y'all who've been on the journey, y'all know what this album is reminding me of, really, now that I think about it. It's reminding me of, let's go back. Rewind the journey, okay? Remember when I watched Madonna in the Breakfast Club, right? The girl who playing Madonna in like this docudrama series. Now, I will give it to her at angles now. She can look like Madonna.
Nah, bruh.
And Madonna was making a song. This was she was still, you know, learning how to sing, learning how to play instruments. And she made a song to her pops, right? And she's like, he said, baby, come home, or something like that, right? That's what these songs remind me of. So basically here, with Like a Prayer, we have Madonna kind of actually going back to the artist that she was trying to be in the beginning, really, right? When she was with the Breakfast Club. What y'all think? It's Oh Father. Again, I don't think I was really a fan of the ballads of this album. The public didn't connect with it in 1989, just like I didn't connect with it in 2021. There's just some kind of key ingredient that was missing from the song, right? You got Pat Leonard, you got Madonna, right? We know they can make magic, but it's just something missing from Oh Father. Anymore. Like I said, some of the songs is catchy, but ironically, number one, it's interesting that again this song was used. This song is like a up tempo beat for like an issue like divorce, right? I think that was interesting. Number one. Number two, ironically, like who wants to dance to a song? Or even like re-listen to a song multiple times about divorce, unless you're going through that. I mean, from a lyrical standpoint, this was cool to hear. Again, a song I definitely wouldn't want to revisit like that. So y'all know it's definitely not about to be a fireball for me, not at all. This song would have been number one only if the mixes that were used for the video and all them club tracks was actually on the album, but it wasn't. So with that being said, the dated version is going to break at number 7. I don't know yet, y'all. I don't know. Like the horns, I'm not really feeling like give me True Blue tease. So not really feeling the horns, but I will say again, Madonna's vocals were right. Especially coming off of that Who's That Girl tour, I can hear that kind of took up a second best baby. You know what I'm saying? Like she pushing her vocals to the limit right there. Catchy chorus, but I don't know like if I'm feeling the beat. Also, one thing I want to point out is that interesting enough, right? Madonna's using that lower register, but in this essence, she's using like. I feel like she take her head voice to the max, right? Where it's almost kind of like a strain. And it's the beat. I don't know. I couldn't just bop to it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, y'all. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give Express Yourself 10s across the board. I know I'm already shooting the tomatoes. I know y'all gonna be like, Empress, you tripping, but because I understand this is one of her biggest hits, but I don't know. Like again, I like the lyrical content, but the song itself is not no. The beat is prevented from being a fireball. And like Madonna is just a lullaby. This is one of the most interesting Madonna songs I've ever heard. We get these strings, right? Again, it's like almost remind me like ABBA, right? Where the music is very intricate, but the lyrics and the melody seem to be like almost like carefree, almost kind of childish like, right? But not really, right? It's like a deeper subject at hand. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all listen to ABBA. I react to some of these songs. Check out the ABBA playlist, okay? But anyway, this is interesting, y'all, and I don't know, like, ooh, I want to throw it up, but I can't, right? like the slap of the album, right? I'm gonna throw up Tears, Keep It Together, right? Madonna covered with a danceable bop, but not only that, one in which, again, the content is gold, right? Your family is gold. And unlike any album that she's put out to this date, right? To 1989's Like a Prayer. There were a lot of songs, even on the poppiest albums like True Blue and Like a Virgin, right? Her delivery would be very street, right? Even it had like this street flair to it. This album, I haven't encountered a song like that. Even Keep It Together, it wasn't a street delivery, right? It was an R&B sound, yes, but the delivery wasn't like street, right? Instead, on this album, we got just straight up like vulnerability. And this, of course, has her attitude enthused in it, but it's more so a different scale attitude, right? So this is, or a different emotion. So this is more so like somber, serious, solitude, loneliness, you know, mourning, like a sad emotions, you know what I mean? So this is one of the most upbeat tracks we've heard. And even then, though, you know, it's almost like writing a letter to your family. I got some brothers, hey, I got some sisters too. Y'all get on my nerves, but I'm always gonna love you. Hey guys, it's Empress, and if there's any song I'm excited to listen to on the Like a Prayer album, it's this one. Let's get to. And what this does is make me sad that her and Michael did not collab on In the Closet. I know that would have been so fire. Two artists I wouldn't necessarily have put together to work with that all. And another kind of risky creative venture, but of course they were label mates. So in 1989, that was probably like the collab everybody was waiting for, but it seems to be like one that's underrated and kind of forgotten about. Even not even a video, right? And it didn't even get a single release, which is interesting. You would think in 1989, Prince, Madonna, that's definitely a single, but it's not, ironically. Cherish, right? Cherish the day. Right? Tears across the board. Now this song is very interesting to me. Number one, what I find this song does is what True Blue did, right? Which was to be like that generational gap type of sound, right? It was a lot of songs on True Blue. I'm like, man, grandma, I can listen to this, you know. Like, but I feel like this is a song, but I think this time it was done right? I'm not saying that, you know, all True Blue was done wrong, no. But I feel like this is just like perfect, really, right? Grandma could listen to it, mom could listen to it, you as a kid could listen to it as a teenager, especially the little acapella breakdown. Give me strength, my boy, I will cherish you, right? You wait for that breakdown, you're like, okay. But you play it at the wedding, right? Plays at the prom. It's a safe song, but and the listening to the album, interesting. So it's kind of like, I don't know what the rest of the album about to be, but it's almost like, okay, boom, life is a mystery. Boom, love song is not what I want to sing. Okay, this is not a love song, right? But this one is like, okay, to death do us part. It's like marriage, boom, right? Promise to try. It's like self-reflection. Maybe she wanted like, dang, it's my childhood the reason why my relationship didn't work out. But now Cherish is like, okay, I'm the Phoenix that rise, right? I didn't went through all my breakup stuff. Now I'm back ready to love and looking for somebody to cherish the day. Yeah. If there was one song needed on this album, it's this song. This song was needed to kind of bring us out of the seriousness and the sadness of the album, right? Like, you needed that kind of lift me up breather song, and this was it. Alright, so apparently Like a Prayer is one that is supposed most controversial works, and I think this might be one of the most controversial eras in my Madonna journey. Let's get to it. So you got Prince just doing his thing on this guitar. You got that choir from Like a Prayer in the back. This is Like a Prayer, right? You got that bass. It's a bass we can ride to, right? Sonically, rhythmically, right? We can get down to this, right? And another thing, for those of you guys who've been a part of it, you guys know I always love Madonna talk, right? So she talking, or in this case, saying a prayer, right? And contrition, right? So like repentance, right? Or Catholic, I guess, praying to the priest or the confessions or whatever, right? And this is interesting because we get the tape that's rewinding throughout the whole track, surrounding. So is it like I don't know, like, is it like a rewind of life, so to speak, right? So maybe like death or not death, right? Like a prayer, like basically the whole album she been purging, get it out. Now she done got it out and she good, right? Or maybe is it she was thinking about all of that, right? I don't know, y'all talk about concepts. So maybe she was thinking about doing all this purging and it's running her mind, and instead she like, okay, I'm just gonna say prayer. Now we talk about creative. To me, this is the most creative track on the song. I mean, it's the most creative track on the album. Again, it's Like a Prayer in reverse, and it just has like such a bad bass line, like this, you just moving there like Madonna's like saying this prayer, and you got like the choir house, and, yeah, it's like it's one that you really listen to, in my opinion, because it's so different, right? That's the track I would automatically be like, oh snap, have y'all heard this? Like, this is the song on the album I'm pointing out that people like, whoa, have you heard this? Oh snap, y'all. Ooh. Alright, so I was always skeptical about this song, this album. Mostly all y'all was like, oh, you gotta get to Like a Prayer, you gotta get to Like a Prayer. Okay, so let me say, y'all saw me throw it up 10s across the board, right? This song, woo, Madonna never ceases to amaze me. Like, church, I would have never thought she was gonna take me there, right? But she did, and it's so much I want to talk about with this song. I wish I was like jotting down notes. Like, I hope I don't forget any of the points I want to make as I was listening to the song. And again, like, every time I went to press pause, I couldn't. I was up in that just like a prayer. You know, like that song is just straight up fire bop, tears across the board, right? This song, Like a Prayer, I never heard a song like it. To me, it is the masterpiece of this album. It is, point blank period, the art of this album. From Prince opening guitar chords, and again, shout out to Prince being on the track. Well, how legendary is that? And from that book close, or whatever it is that closes, right? It's a sound that kind of starts you pay attention, and then you hear Madonna come on, you know, with her vocals. Life is a mystery. Like, whoa, what's she talking about? And in regards to sound, it's just totally different from Madonna. We even get the church brought in, and like, you know, that's just like, whoa. The church come in and take it to the next level. Oh, it's one that gets, I think, everybody's ears perked up. Like, whoa, Madonna and the gospel choir, because when that gospel choir hit you, something else come over your spirit, again, spiritual, right? And not only that, what she's talking about, you're wondering, like, what is this song even about? It gives you goosebumps. Like, you might not listen to it every day, I don't think you can, but when you hear it, you're going to be like, whoa, this is good. Did I surprise any of you guys? If I did, drop those comments below. Y'all know I want to talk about it. I want to see, how do you rate the album? So drop those comments below as well. Alright, so Like a Prayer. Putting on my album list. Is it better than the first album? No. No. Like, and again, we talked about it. This didn't have, like, fire bops, and it wasn't necessarily a fire bop album, so to speak. But one thing about an artist is they have to have fire bops to stay relevant. So I'm looking forward to the 90s, because I know there has to be an album, another album that is just as cohesive and just really all around good as in sound and quality of each song, that just, you know, it's a flow. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be all upbeat songs either, right? We can do those mid-tempos, we can do those ballads, but the sound is just fire from start to finish, you know what I mean? And so far, nothing has to throw. 83, nothing. Yeah, so drop your comments below, let me know your thoughts about the album, of course. I really enjoyed this Like a Prayer era. Again, it was one that was very different. And that's the thing with Madonna, I just never know what to expect. Wasn't expecting this. And again, kind of like the switch up from brunette to blonde, which is very interesting, because again, I think Madonna being risky, right? Sending out that message like, hey, I want to be an artist, I want to be respected as an artist, take me seriously, so I'm going to dye my hair, you know, back black and not back to its natural color. But not only that, we know that prior to this, Madonna was trying to get respect on in Hollywood and in the Broadway circle, right? She was really trying to make her name as a serious actress. And so I think doing all that acting work also led or fed into kind of like the concept of this album, right? Like, I'm not really in the club like that. I want to be taken seriously. I want to get deep. I want to peel off the layers. I want to reveal something about me. So I think it worked, right? Cool album nonetheless. Again, great listening experience. So drop the comments below, tell me what you guys think. Now we're off into the 90s. Like, I'm so excited. Like, we've gotten through our first decade and it's been so awesome. Each album's so different. Yeah, it's just been fun, guys. So thank you everybody who's had that seatbelt fastened and strapped on, because we've been riding, okay? If you're just now new to this journey, again, I'm listening to all of Madonna's album in chronological order, starting with the demos. I have a whole playlist called Madonna playlist, Madonna reaction videos. Check that out. You can start there and catch up. Again, we're heading to the 90s. I'm very excited about it. So again, drop the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys in the 90s. Bye, guys.